is brought to you by Kenneth Nugent. From the station that's on your side, breaking news.
Want to dive into that breaking news? The Richmond County Sheriff's Office says a person on a motorcycle was hit by a school bus. This happening at Milledgeville and North Leg Road.
Now this is a live look at the scene here near the traffic circle where those two roads meet. You can see that there's a heavy law enforcement presence in the bus right down the road where those roads meet. Now dispatch says the call came in just after 5 this evening. We're still trying to find out about any injuries and if there were any kids on this school bus. We've also reached out to the Richmond County Sheriff's Office for more details here. We'll update you here live as soon as we have more information with this. Weather-wise for until early portions of the overnight, so around midnight, 1 a.m., we'll likely still have some showers and thunderstorms on radar out there. As far as coverage goes, it will be widely scattered, not expecting everybody to see the rain, but with these storm chances continuing into early tonight, just can't rule out maybe one of them do produce a strong wind gust and some heavy rain. Have a look at those rain chances continuing for the rest of the week in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thank you, Riley. Our largest school district on our South Carolina side back in the classroom now. Earlier this summer, Aiken County Schools announced Vicki Gaskins would serve as the first ever Director of Security and Emergency Management.
And today the school district tells me student safety and mental health are their top priorities. It's almost a strange sight to see hundreds of students walking the hallways like normal. For principal of Midland Valley High School, Sheldon Higginbottom, it's his first time really experiencing it.
This is only my third year, so this will be like my very first year of having a regular year, so to speak. And we're just glad right now we're not contact tracing.
He and his staff worked all summer to prepare for the potential challenges of the school year.
It's a great day. It's always one of the best days of the whole year. We're ready to go. We're really excited.
One of those challenges is school safety. They're keeping doors shut, windows locked, and making sure everyone is entering and exiting through one doorway.
We're just doing everything we can just to put adults in places where they can watch out for our school.
And they're also watching out for their students. This year, there will be a trained mental health counselor available for students and staff in the school.
We're going to do everything we can for our kids.
It's Mental Health Awareness Week for them. Their goal is to make sure every student feels comfortable being back.
It's a chance to build and, dream and things that you want to achieve, and that's kind of where we are now. We're trying to do things here at this school that have never been done before.
In Augusta, Will Rio on your side. Remember, Aiken County switches to a modified calendar starting next year. Summer break will shorten, but students and teachers get more breaks in each quarter. Those are in October, December, into January, and then April. The new first day of school would be July 25th. And today we have new COVID guidance from DHEC for South Carolina schools. Kids exposed to COVID in close contact do not need to quarantine, but kids who test positive do need to quarantine. Kids can return to school 5 days after symptoms started and 24 hours after their fever is gone. And they'll need to wear a mask for 10 days. The only exception is if they test negative twice by day 8. Well, it's been just about 6 months since former Augusta City Administrator Odie Donald left office and interim Takaya Dowse took over. The lingering questions now, who will permanently take over in that role and which administration will choose the candidate?
Mayor Hardy Davis has 4 months, just 4, before Mayor-elect Garnett Johnson takes over. Johnson told us today he'd like for his team and the other new incoming commissioners to have a say on who ends up with the job. District 3 Commissioner Catherine Smith McKnight says she thinks the new administration should have a say in the process as well. She also says there is no need to rush here, with the interim administrator doing a good job. We're told city leaders could have a timeline for the new hire at tomorrow's commission meeting. For years, neighbors on Ellis Street say they've watched the foundation of their homes tilt and erode because of water falling off the Calhoun Expressway.
In commission last week, several of them teared up as they reminded city leaders about those issues. The very next day, commission sent a team to look at that damage. Our Craig Allison is live in the newsroom. Craig, is there a solution in sight?
Well, Will, the city says they're taking immediate action to help those people living on Ellis Street, which includes recently scheduled cleanings around the area with Augusta Engineering and Environmental Services. But for the homes themselves, it's a different story.
We can't continue to live like this. I can't sell the property or anything.
Lois Johnson has lived on Ellis Street for 25 years and is about to retire, despite soon being work-free. She says the walls are caving in around her.
By just living in the house every day, you see different changes in the house, how the separation of the flooring, the buckling.
She says this trench is the only support system against flooding for water coming down from the Calhoun Expressway. Water fills past this and into the yard, sometimes sitting here for days. Over time, eroding and warping the structure and foundation on the outside and inside.
This wasn't no help. With no help, no matter what we were trying to do and try to show them.
Janice Collins lives just a few houses down and says she has the same issue. While Miss Johnson has been visited by Risk Management and Commissioner Ben Hassan, Miss Collins still has yet to be seen by anyone, even after being present at last week's committee meeting. She hopes after Tuesday, something might change.
I'm a taxpayer, and this is, we support the Augusta area. And when it's coming time for the people to get help, who do we turn to?
Tomorrow, Risk Management will present their findings to city leaders, where residents hope the commission will vote to move forward on lending a hand in keeping their homes up.
A lot to be done. Thanks for checking in on that. Some of the world's top cyber experts are in Augusta this week for TechNet. It is a chance for our military leaders to talk about ideas on how to strengthen our cyber defense systems.
And the events come just days after Congress passed the CHIPS Act, committing nearly $300 billion to the cyber and chip manufacturing industries. Now, our Claire Allen is live outside Augusta's Convocation Center at the center of TechNet.
Yeah, well, TechNet is just one example of how Augusta is the cyber capital of Georgia. But that's not the only thing Augusta is known for. The Cyber Center and one local nonprofit are working to bring more kids into the field. After years of working in marketing and HR, Ebony Brown decided it was time for a change.
I decided to pursue what I always been passionate about, which was technology.
And growing up, she didn't know much about getting into the industry.
We didn't have a lot of computers at the school, but I was interested. Once we got them in, I was trying to figure out what was going on.
The U.S. Labor Department says African Americans make up only 3% of the cyber tech workforce in the U.S. Senator John Ossoff's new bill creates an education grant, giving half of its funding to HBCUs and other schools that help minorities in the cyber field.
So the senator's efforts may even help fund our programs, but programs across our entire state that will benefit our youth in the area of cyber education.
Dr. Tom Clark works with the Boys and Girls Club of Augusta, hosting camps to get kids more involved in the tech world.
Across 2 states, 150 kids attended these camps for free. 65% of the attendees were minorities and 40% were women.
Brown Girls Code is a nonprofit that teaches girls ages 7 to 18 about cyber technology and gives them opportunities they normally wouldn't get in school.
One great thing about computer programming, it actually teaches you how to problem solve.
Dr. Clark also says that cyber tech is in almost every career field. Brown Girls Code will have a mixer this Friday at the Cyber Center for members celebrating 4 years and back in-person teaching.
This could open a lot of doors for people. Thank you, Claire. Tomorrow's big event is the annual Capture the Flag competition. Teams from across the globe use their cyber skills to see who gets the top spot. If you're just now joining us, we are continuing to follow breaking news out of Richmond County. Deputies tell us a person on a motorcycle was hit by a school bus. Now, these are live pictures near Milledgeville and North Leg Road. Very active scene here. It happened at right around 5 o'clock, about an hour ago, so you can see it's still not clear. Lots of law enforcement there at the scene. Right now we're working to find out about any injuries and if there were any kids on the school bus, but we will continue to check this for you tonight.
Well, for some people, COVID was the easy part. What came after has been the battle. Coming up, only our I-Team can take you inside a local study, find out what doctors have uncovered. Coming up.
Days this week. Tuesday actually looks like the driest day we'll see for the next 5 to 7.
Well, tonight our I-Team has an update to our exclusive look inside one of the largest COVID studies in the country. Researchers at the Medical College of Georgia have their first results from their first 200 patients. In Meredith, they're already seeing a clear pattern.
This study is looking at the longer-lasting effects of COVID, and so far, the number one symptom is fatigue. More than 68% of patients have it. A close second, headaches. Next come problems with smell and taste. Almost half of the patients met the criteria for mild cognitive impairment. 32% had memory problems, and 30% had impaired vocabulary. But this study is about more than numbers. It's about patients like Sarah Moore.
Yes.
We first introduced you to our assistant news director here at News 12 last November, when she went from covering COVID stories to becoming part of one.
We'll do a blood draw this morning.
Okay.
Researchers at the Medical College of Georgia are studying Sarah as part of their Neurological and Molecular Prospective Cohort Study, or CONGA for short.
I want you to close your eyes and try to keep your balance.
And she invited our cameras to document all of it. Since then, for her, it's been a year of one mores. The Moores had one more wedding. They finally felt safe enough to have the big celebration they'd been postponing in the pandemic. Then, 6 months later, one more round of COVID.
The first time was like nothing. I had no idea I had it. The second time, I felt it. I felt terrible.
Like most others in the study, Sarah says fatigue has stayed with her. Initial results show almost 70% of patients also report feeling exhausted months after they recovered.
I'm 34. I shouldn't feel lethargic. I got enough sleep last night. I feel like I'm checking all the boxes of like, I should feel motivated and ready to do things. And I'm just tired. I'm just tired.
Dr. Elizabeth Rakowski is one of the study's investigators. She says Sarah is actually one of the lucky ones.
We're starting to see our first round of 1-year follow-up patients, and a lot of them are still very, very profoundly disabled by this.
So far, 47% of patients have scored within the mild cognitive impairment range, which might not sound serious, but it can be devastating.
Patients sometimes have to either quit their jobs or they actually get fired from their jobs because they cannot handle that kind of cognitive load, and their processing is so slow, their speaking is so slow, and they can't multitask as well. And those are a lot of the hallmarks that we see in the specific long COVID population.
Other patients continue to struggle with problems with taste and smell.
Ugh.
Sarah hadn't really noticed any problems until she had to put it to the test.
I don't taste anything.
Sarah still doesn't know her results. Dr. Rakowski says patients who lose their sense of taste and smell find that when they do return, things can smell and taste unpleasant.
Some stay in the complete absence, and others are still kind of lingering on even a year afterwards with abnormal perception.
Wow, that's a long time. Is that true with other viruses too that you've seen? Or is this unique to COVID, the longevity of these symptoms afterwards?
It's definitely unique to COVID.
Which is why they wanted to give the taste and smell tests, as well as some other neurological tests, unique treatment. Most studies rely on questionnaires where patients self-report symptoms.
And normally we take those at face value. If you have smell or taste loss or brain fog, check, you have it.
But Dr. Rakowski and her team are actually measuring those things through a series of seemingly random.
I want you to repeat a sentence right back to me.
Okay.
The spy fled to Greece.
The spy fled to Greece.
Perfect.
But carefully thought out tests. Everything they do has a purpose. Has there been anything that's just totally surprised you?
I think the biggest thing was just that patient subjective complaints don't always line up with the objective tests and data.
Which brings us back to Sarah, who has just learned a third of patients in her study so far have shown impaired vocabulary.
It's so funny that you say that because this just happened last week. I was talking to my husband about a friend of ours, and I could not pull. We were talking about something, and I could not pull the name, and I couldn't pull the word of whatever we were talking about in my head, and I was a little embarrassed, so I was trying to search my phone.
That's something Sarah might never have linked to COVID, so at least for her, this study is making her think. The hope is, it might make you think too.
So what I tell my patients in my study is that, you're not crazy, you're not alone.
Researchers are learning more about COVID every single day, and the more they know, the better off we all are.
Everybody in the world knows what COVID is, and I'm maybe a little tiny baby part of helping us learn a little bit more about it, so it's cool.
Sarah's next appointment is in October, and she's interested to see if that second time with COVID affects her test results. Of course, we'll keep following her journey and all the results for the next several years.
We're following breaking news on a school bus accident we told you about less than 10 minutes ago. Our crews on the scene say the coroner just arrived at Milledgeville Road and North Lake Road. Certainly a big presence out there still. Richmond County deputies say a school bus and motorcycle were in an accident. Deputies have not confirmed how many people were injured in this crash or how bad it really was, but you can still see there's still heavy presence on scene. The call came in of this crash at just after 5 o'clock. Again, the coroner's van is on the scene there. We'll keep you updated on that. We'll be back after a short break.
The live